Welcome back, everybody. We have some more playoff action so far. The results have been somewhat unprecedented. We'll look to see if that streak continues as we're heading into the Novice League here. I'm joined once again in the booth. You all know him well. My good friend and the legendary caster, Cookin' Bagels. What's going on?
Well, let's finish casting another one. Some nice action there in the Challenger League. Not so much of a novice connoisseur myself, but I'm ready to see some action. We got some familiar faces on the pitch here in Jeff Masters, seeing him at land. So I'll be rooting for my boy Jeff, who's trying to go off against this Frost team, who's looking to make 3 trips in a row to the Grand Finals.
And that would be an impressive feat indeed. Well, I guess right now, after making it to grand finals in the last 2 seasons, their win rate in the grand finals was 50%. Making it 3 times in a row would be impressive. 2 is already impressive. They could do it a third, would be nice for them. But looking at the other side of things, we have them going up against a hot Whelps team with none other than Jeff Masters on there and Mr. Marino, followed up with Grebsy as their third. A tough roster to go off against, and in all honesty, these teams are completely equal in their scoreline. Looking at the playoff results leading up to this, it seems as though Frost actually 4-0'd their first quarterfinals match, while Whelps came in, had to battle a 7-game series against Ninjas. Are Frost going to be coming in here hot looking for the three-peat, or you think this Whelps roster is going to be too much for him?
Well, I believe the Whelps barely survived a game 7 there. So I think we'll probably meet up somewhere in the middle. I think both these teams will be a matchup for each other. As I'm sorry, Saint and Icarus. Yes, you were also at Worlds. It's just Jeff is too sexy. As far as the question as to where are my sheets, they're in the dryer. I don't have time in between. I don't have time to do my sheets. That being said, enough about me and in my background. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Frost doesn't make it 3 times in a row. I'm gonna go with the Whelps here, Jeff, Grebsy, and of course, all the way back from when I was doing the draft stream. It's not Mr. Marino, it's Mr. Mario. Mr. Mario will get the job done here, I think.
It's Mr. Mario, and he'll have to harness the power of Mr. Mario's epic double jumps if he wants to make it through here. So we do get started right off the bat. Jeff looking for a quick shot. Countered and sent away as Music actually lurking in the corner over here. I get one through, and already a little bit of back and forth in this one. Definitely don't expect this one to be a sweep, especially with how even these guys went toe-to-toe in the regular season. They both had success in playoffs, but it's a different beast as Mr. Marino, Mr. Mario as you call him, gonna start off the scoring for us.
Yeah, just a great 50 from Jeff, pinging Saint off of the ceiling to send that one through the middle, and Mr. Marino there able to get the job done, hitting the open net, top shelf, and great start here for the Whelps.
And that might not be the most highly mechanical shot you've ever seen, but especially in the Novice League, it's a great sign to have your shooting as on point as that shot looked there. Just so much power to the top corner. Can't ask for much better placement. As well as the attack continues, Mr. Marino once again already gonna get himself a second shortly after.
And the placement on point here on the last shot on this one right here, putting it bottom right underneath that final defender. And huge pressure coming out so far from the Whelps in the first minute. And this is kind of what I saw out of them the last series, their first round matchup, but can be a bit prone to the overcommit on offense, and defense might be lacking a little bit as well. But thus far, as I say that, Caster's Curse incoming, Frost will capitalize.
Well, somewhat a caster's curse and somewhat you just speaking it into existence.
It's a crystal ball,
As a bad 50 rolls across the net, Saint there to clean it up, and like you said, I don't think offense is going to be the problem for this Whelps team. Seems like they really do have their shooting down, especially with how well Mr. Marino is performing in the opening minutes here. But the defense can get a little bit shaky, and if they allow Frost these opportunities, there are no slouches on the other end of things too. We can already see capitalizing immediately off of their only shot of the game so far. Now they will have another opportunity on the other side, but Music just kind of tossing it away. This one sent high off the backboard. Marino trying to leave it for his teammate,
Oh
and he
my
does
goodness.
barrel through. The overcommit pays off as Jeff Masters sends another one home.
That's the most novice thing I've seen. You know, 2 of your players miss. Why not send the third? And you know what? All 3 players on the Frost team also went. So 6 players were up for this ball. And honestly, I'm not quite sure how it went in, but you know, novice moment. But it works out for the Whelps.
And, well, if you're going to overcommit, you better at least be able to shoot the ball well. So far, Whelps being able to hold true to that, as they might get another Grebsy this time getting involved in the action. And now each player of the Whelps getting involved to put them up 4-1.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more power off that initial shot from Jeff, but either way, put it in an awkward spot and a great transition out of defense. Marino got a hit, Jeff doinked it up, was able to follow it up himself, and Grebsy there for the follow in this Whelps team. You know, despite the play where there were 6 players in the air, they're looking pretty coordinated on the offensive side. That being said, Icarus looking for the double, can't quite find it. Music with the slow roller, but able to slip it through as Jeff, a little bit awkward off the previous play.
And Icarus there threatening the double touch. Looked like he was somewhat close to hitting it. That's not a shot that's easy to defend when you're not really prepared for your opponents to do such things. And the follow-up is good. Frost getting themselves back in the game. Only 2 goals now, and in such a high-scoring affair, you know, there's no telling what might happen next. Like you've already pointed out, in the tie-in league, we see triple resets left and right as Icarus coming through with another one. And now, like I said, anything can happen. They're already back within 1.
Yeah, not quite sure what Grebsy was doing in the corner here. A bit of a mistouch from Jeff off the sideball as well, but ultimately, Grebsy has got to be in net here on this play. I don't even think the boost he went for was there. So again, this play coming out here, and now they were up 4-1. We're the Whelps, and now they're only have 1 more goal standing between them and Frost, and we got 2.5 minutes here to work with as Jeff out of the corner again. The offense for the Whelps, it seems like they're just able to put these ones through more often than not, and these ones are off of skill, whereas I feel like a lot of the Frost goals have just been the Whelps players messing up. Whelps are really pushing the table here.
And already with 5 goals to the team's name, that's hard to disagree. To be fair, the shot by Icarus to get them their third was a pretty mechanically difficult angle to get, but still, once again, on the Whelps, I agree as well. You have to, especially when you have such a big goal advantage, you have to play a little bit more passively on defense. You can't just be bringing all your players out of net like that. That's Jeff looking for the Doomsy. Can't quite find it. Now there's only 1 player left back. That will be Mr. Marino. Music there for the shot. Accidentally gets a double though, and that'll relieve a lot of the pressure that Frost was trying to put on. If Whelps can just stop the goal-scoring Fiesto from coming through, we'll definitely have the advantage here as another high one goes off the backboard. Marino almost gets the read. Instead, he sets it up for Grebsy, who will come through. Another clean goal for the Whelps.
Dude, Mr. Mario, I knew from the moment this man was going to get drafted, I knew this man was built for special things here. And Mr. Mario is just coming up huge in this series so far. We're only 1 game in, but even in the last series I saw him in a huge, just a huge set piece for this Whelps team. Huge playmaker, and he's coming up big here in game number 1. A lot of just mechanical plays. And you know, we've come a long way from season 3 where Novice was first introduced, and these players, they just look so much better. Granted, it's still Novice, but they look a lot more coordinated.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think we'll ever stop seeing all 6 people come in on the field in Novice games. It's one of the beauties, one of the arts. But like you said, we've come such a long way, and even for season 7 standards, I feel like the Whelps shooting is just on point right now as Mr. Marino with another clean backboard read, and they cannot be stopped.
And just the speed from Grebsy, like, on this challenge to get the dunk, the squishy attempt being made, even, like, the wherewithal to be going for that in Novice is kind of impressive, but would have maybe been better off staying on the ground on the goal line because Mr. Marino, really only had one spot he could put that. But just the speed from this Whelps roster is on display, and I need to see a lot more from Saint and Music, as Icarus really the only person getting some work done as he puts another shot on right there, blocked out from Jeff, as Icarus really, oh, hold on a second, Music with the fake. Nobody on Frost quite ready for it, but yeah, Icarus definitely the front man here for Frost, and a little bit more work needs to be done by both Music and Saint to get a
That
consistent stay on offense.
that last rotation on defense, well, okay, I was about to Caster's Curse something into existence, but gotta stop myself. That previous rotation where there was a really hard hit to the backboard, and Grebsy, it was a pretty high ball, one that even I feel like most challenger players would even possibly struggle to get up to. Grebsy just deals with it with ease. The follow-up speed on defense was good. I mean, if the Whelps can stay that solid on defense against hard shots, against double touches, whilst maintaining this same level of offense, I mean, we might be looking at Whelps just running away with this. Overall, a fantastic Game 1 performance.
Yeah, sometimes in playoffs you get some low-scoring affairs. Not in this one. 10 goals being scored. We may have seen a few series where 10 goals were not scored for the entirety of the series. So, I don't know. Again, don't watch the Novice games that often, but we might be in for a bit of a goal fest here. And you know what? I'm all for it. The more offense that Mr. Marino is getting involved in, I'm all for it, because this man was popping off. Each player on the Whelps getting 2 assists, almost each player getting 4 shots. And just a really standout performance from them. A few mistakes here and there, but if you're going to put 7 goals through, you can afford to make a few mistakes on your own defensive side.
And there were a few mistakes, but if you could make up for it with that much offense, definitely worth cleaning up those. But a nice way to close it out by the Whelps after a couple points where it seemed like Frost might find their way back into the game, just never were quite able to. And I'm wondering, with the Whelps playing this well, how Frost can find their way. Only one game down, but with a very commanding result in Game 1 for the Whelps. I mean, what does Frost have to do here to try and shut down this Whelps offense?
They got to shut down the man in question there, Mr. Marino. They got to get him off of these goal-scoring opportunities. Kind of hard for novice players to get a lot of bumps, a lot of demos, but if they can incorporate that as well, just try and shut down Mr. Marino. And on their own defensive side, they just got to be a little bit quicker, because these Whelps players just seem to be an edge faster on these challenges. And if they can just be a little bit quicker, shut down these 50s, get more favorable 50s, could be a good spot here for the Frost team. And again, like I was mentioning, they got to get Saint and Music more involved. It seems like Icarus is trying to get a lot of the work done himself. And up to see his Music here. Pass over to Saint, doing exactly what I asked for. The third man, Icarus, coming in for the shot, and the bumps come out. They did everything I asked. They got the pass play between the two players, they got the bumps, and they got Icarus to perform when he needed.
A beautiful transition into the offense there, just perfectly executed. Honestly, a really high-level play to get the bump, get the pass off the sidewall pass down to the second man, off the backboard to the third. A great play and a great look there by Frost. And in all honesty, that was a really good way to capitalize off of the Whelps overcommit, as there was 2 players that actually did double commit previously. If Frost can take that good of advantage of every misplay by the Whelps, then they are very much still in this one, as Jeff going to have to make a read. He can't do it, and Music will put in a second for Frost.
And unfortunate touch from Marino, and then again a huge 50 from Icarus over Grebsy. Hard, tough read there for Jeff in the backfield. If he was slightly more dug into the net, would have been a much easier read, but he was creeping out a little bit in that defensive third, not expecting his teammate to get the ever-living crap dunked out of him. But again, they are just playing so well right now, Frost. They've made the adaptations, almost able to get a third one snuck in there. But now, if they play like this, we're going to have a series.
And they've managed to turn what minimal offense they had in the first game. Well, I won't necessarily say minimal, but definitely not as much as they've had in the second, as they already have, I believe, 5 or 4 shots to their name, but a couple goals to show for it. proving to be clinical on their opportunities. This one sent center. Music trying to get the read, just barely blocked out by Grebsy. Trying to stay fast on defense, and now on offense, can't quite find the backboard read. Music going for more aggressive physical plays. It seems like Frost is implementing the strategy of trying to get these demos, trying to clear up open space. Really just not trying to let Whelps get any offense. Instead, it will be them. Grebsy with another clutch save, but this one high off the backboard. Marino going to have to make a read. Icarus not able to finish the double touch. Still lots of opportunities for this Frost roster. That's a big miss by Saint, though. Will allow an opportunity. Marino coming through. Music will rush back just in time as Whelps look to push forward on the offense. And Frost, they've really cleaned up their mistakes this game. I mean, like you said, they've done pretty much everything that you asked of them, even going for another double touch. Music almost getting the fast, but the counterattack coming through for the Whelps. Going to have to try to get this one quickly. It is still lurking. Music back, and it seems to me like Music is the one who is really stepping up here for Frost here. He seems to be everywhere on the pitch, on offense, on defense, making these plays happen.
Yeah, he's got a save, 5 shots to his name. Icarus kind of taking a step back in this game, and that's honestly what I need to see, as I was calling for Saint and Music to get more involved. Still waiting to see a little bit more out of Saint. He was involved on that big passing play that got the Frost team their first goal. But need to see a little bit more out of him on the defensive side, help those team get out, getting some big 50s here, but straight into the hands of Mr. Marino, which they do want to keep that ball away from him as much as possible. So whiff will come out, and Marino back on the ball, putting the shot on it. Do not let this man have an offensive presence on your side of the pitch.
For Frost, you just got to play keep away with this guy. He gets another nice shot. Neither defender ready for it. Music trying to get back with low boost, but wasn't expecting it to go right over first defender's head. Whelps find their way back into this game. Only 1 goal down now. Plenty of time left to try and convert, but Marino off the ceiling can't make a touch. Jeff to the backboard. Music can't make the touch. The shot is open, but Grebsy can't quite get the touch. Looked like he may have expected his teammate. Doesn't matter. He gets the follow-up, and the passing play coming out once again. Whelps managed to equalize.
A little bit of credit to Grebsy right there. It looked like he was kind of getting screened out by his teammate, maybe forced to put that first shot high, but either way, a really good follow-up with the half rotation, staying on the offensive side and lofting that one over and off the kickoff. Jeff looking for one more, couldn't find it though. A chance to take the lead, a chance to go up 2-0 in the series, and not finding the ice right there off the kickoff. Now, on the offensive side is Frost. Not able to get the job done themselves, and Marino back on the ball. He's got boost. Saint taking some time in the corner, gets bumped off, but Marino not ready for it. And back and forth here, final minute. Might be headed to overtime here merely, although I thought the net was open for a second, but a great shot from Jeff will sneak its way through behind Saint, and I said I needed Saint to show up on the defensive side and had a chance to stop this, but Jeff able to get it through.
And it does not look like the Whelps are interested in overtime. They're looking to keep up this pressure. The first half of the game, even the first 3/4 of the game, looked like it belonged to Frost. But once Whelps has managed to find their way back onto offense, Frost has just had nothing to show, even with Music having 6 shots, only 1 goal to his name. Another opportunity for the Whelps. Will not be able to secure it. This will be another high ball. Music looking to pass it out. Icarus opting not to go for it, but will take control of this one. Trying to take it to the sidewall. Doesn't get the best touch, though. This one over to Jeff. To the backboard. Might be able to get a shot. He fakes it out, actually. Intentionally or not, Grebsy did have a shot there. Now with 13 seconds left, Frost has to try to get something going, but they can't even get the ball going out of their own half. Music trying desperately to send this one through. Gets a high ball. This could be what they need, but Grebsy actually can't make the touch. Luckily, Jeff pre-jumping, reading the fake, manages to get the touch, and Whelps stay alive in game 2 to take it up 2-0.
The old double commit that actually works out. And sometimes, double commits, they're generally viewed as a bad thing. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to send both men. And that worked out for him, especially when the time was about to hit 0 right there. If Jeff didn't go up for that ball, that likely would have been going through. But a huge counterattack for the Whelps here in game 2. 3 unanswered goals after Frost started out so well. They did exactly what I said. They did exactly what I said as I was saying it. They got the bumps, they got the pass play between each other, and Icarus there to seal the deal. And Music was able to get more involved. I mean, really, it just came down to Saint here. Especially that last goal. He was in net. He had a position where he could have made that touch from Jeff. And he just didn't make the touch, and Whelps took the lead off of it after Frost came up with a big 2-0 lead. 9 shots, great offense from them, but just could not be consistent enough to hold off this Whelps roster. When you got Mr. Marino coming in, hitting these shots, Jeff plowing through the midfield, and Grebsy really surprising me off of that play. He had to pound it off the backboard, but he got quickly back to it, and he put a high lofter on the left side. So really the Whelps, they're looking good right now. And Frost already taking their timeout, knowing that they are down 2-0 in a series, losing a game, which they should have won. So they're trying to stop this momentum here for the Whelps any way they can.
And a very important timeout here for the Whelps, trying to kill, or excuse me, for Frost, trying to kill the Whelps momentum. I'm a big proponent of always taking your timeout in game 2. Didn't help me in our series, but we won't talk about that one. But usually it is just a good idea. You don't want to go down 3-0 and try to use the timeout to salvage what little left you have. The timeout buff is very real, and though it doesn't always come to fruition, it can help to slow down the momentum of the other team. That's, in my opinion, what the timeout is really more useful for. You know, you can go back to the drawing board, you can try to readjust your game plan, but 1 minute is really only enough to try and stop the momentum of the other team. Gaining your own comes through the gameplay. It comes through getting your confidence back, and we'll have to see if Frost can do just that. Now down 2-0, and you really don't want to go down to match point if you are them, facing a reverse sweep. We have seen one already in this playoff season, as the Krakens managed to come back in. Music with an early shot, trying to come out hot here. But 1 minute, will it be enough to give Frost back the advantage? Time will tell, as Icarus not getting the best 50 here. Music in an awkward spot and doesn't get the best touch. Grebsy gonna send this one almost on target. He'll just be off. But Frost still stuck in their half. Marino trying to come through, getting the 50. Jeff will control the ball back into their corner. Still, this one sent center. And now it's Marino with the ball. You don't want to see this if you're Frost. The flick towards net.
No.
And they double commit. I think that was a dunk into the own goal, as a painful way to concede for Frost.
Yeah, just, again, I mean, but you see Marino on the ball. They got to send somebody to stop this man, because they had 2 players in the defense on the same spot. And just a cluster on the positioning right there. You need somebody to shut down that play early. Not the best flick from Mr. Marino, but by Novice standards, absolutely a good shot put on. Double commit forced. And you know, last game, double commit saved them as the other huge 50 here. You just gotta stop this, man. There's just no other way to say it. Huge pass from Grebsy, though.
And Grebsy, you know, we've been talking all about Mr. Marino, but Grebsy has been so solid on defense and offense. He's prevented the Whelps from getting scored on multiple times, and with his good 50s and good speed in the midfield, he's been a really important component of this offense for the Whelps, setting up so many plays. Still, they have looked prone to double commits here, as another one's going to come out. Jeff not with the best touch, but it's Grebsy. There he is again, cleaning up the defense, making sure that no shot will come through. And Whelps holding on to their 2-goal advantage. Icarus looking for the bump, gets one bump, gets the demo. But will it be enough? Music getting the solo play, gets it around, and it's lingering on the goal line. Grebsy can't make the touch. Music getting it past everyone.
You know, I think Music could have just sent this ball to high heaven off the initial shot, but he goes for the fake underneath. I don't know how that ball went corner in. I thought that was going corner out, but, you know, great play from Music, and luckily the corner bounce was favorable to Frost. Now only down by 1. But yeah, the Whelps players starting to double commit on defense especially. And what I was going to say was it worked out for them at the end, but there are some double commits that are not good, and it's starting to be a pain in their butt as Music forcing the triple commit, showing off his mechanical ability as well as Icarus again, now I'm seeing a little bit too much of music. I need to see more out of Icarus and Saint here. As just before that shot, Icarus only had 4 points there and 2 minutes in. It just seems like these Frost players are taking turns on extended stays of offense when they need to all work together like they did on that passing play in game number 2.
And right now, I mean, Whelps is just playing keep away on the goal line, off the backboard 3 times. Grebsy 50s the ball in, and just like that, they regain their 2-goal advantage.
And Icarus in position to make this save, but the Fields backflip comes out. Maybe it was the fact that it was a little bit of a bounce shot, but either way, Icarus needs to come up with that save right there. Off the kickoff, thought Whelps might get something going, but now, to the hands of Frost, good demo. It comes in for the 50. Opportunity now for Frost to be on the counter, but their third man was all the way back. Icarus had to half rotate right there as Saint just deciding that he needs to eliminate everybody on the field. The calculated fake, perhaps, but the shot shut down. Either way, they're starting to work together, but one back pass too far is going to shut down the pressure. Open net, Saint with a interesting back pass. And there's spurts of it merely. There's spurts of when they're working together. There's bursts of coordinated offense, but they need to just all be on the same page. Not only that, but they need to be on the same page for extended periods of time.
I definitely agree, and right now they are just not finishing that task effectively. Another 4-1 scoreline as Whelps looking to run away with this game as well. And Saint, I mean, he did his best, but there was no follow-up in net. The demo on the other side, not going to be useful. And Whelps going up once again. I mean, if you're Frost, this is where it's do or die. You don't want to go down 3-0, especially against a Whelps roster that's been playing this well. You have to make something happen here, and Jeff will get back to that one. Now, in this position, I mean, the panic starts to set in. What can you even do? How can you try to adapt if you're Frost?
You know, it's just they gotta be more coordinated, get each other involved. Saint, again, he's been a little quiet in this series. He's gone for a lot of bumps and demos, which is part of what I asked for, part of what I think will lead to their success, but honestly hasn't worked out to fruition in the way they think it is as far as this game number 3 is concerned. As I just, again, Icarus and Saint, as here we go, a big shot to the top right. I said his name and it was spoken into existence that he would score. But again, really the only way Frost is scoring is off these double commits and or these triple commits. So Frost really, they're not really forcing the issue. It's just Whelps, they're starting to make some mistakes, which are to their own discredit. And if Frost is going to continue to play like this, it might as well just be a clean sweep. They do have a minute here to try and get 2 more goals. As one mistake coming out here, the bump comes out, but the shot off target. And again, sometimes even when they're doing the right things, the accuracy, not here.
And, I mean, to be fair, this Whelps roster has by no means looked completely invincible. We've seen these double commits, these triple commits all series long. It's just been on Frost to capitalize, and really I think the thing for me is that they can capitalize off of the mistakes that Whelps are making on the double commits when they are very obvious, but Whelps just aren't making enough of those mistakes to make up for conceding this many goals on Frost's side of things. They're doing a good job of putting the ball away in certain positions, but it's just not quite enough to bring it back to a manageable scoreline. As this one might sneak through, Saint will get there, and 19 seconds left. This is where Frost need to pull out all the stops. They need to come back right here.
Great touch from Music to beat out the final defender. Not quite sure where the remaining players were there for Whelps. I mean, granted, one of them got beat out in the previous play, but the third man extremely deep on the offensive side, perhaps. But it comes down to this kickoff. They're going to lose it. Great spot for Whelps to maintain this lead. Mario, I actually called him Mario, was on the ball. I thought the little play might come out. But they got to get something. They got to get a bump starting. But more passing plays coming out from the Whelps is not going to get the job done for them. It will likely touch the ground unless at 0 seconds. Saint to the middle. Icarus up top. Surely Jeff is just going to put this one down, and he will. And Whelps in an extremely favorable 3-0 series lead.
And it really has looked like they've had a handle on this series the whole way through. Frost managing to have some slight comeback potential, but once again, they're just letting in too many goals. You can't allow the Whelps to score 4 goals a game when you don't have the offense to get more than 3. I mean, it's a simple numbers game. And if Frost can't clean up these mistakes, I mean, going back to that play where they had a clear, I think it was Music on the goal line, and his own teammate just dunked it in. That's a really hard way to concede. And now, looking back at a 3-0 advantage for Whelps, you have to be thinking in the back of your mind, if the scoreline was slightly different, they could have still had a chance here. Instead, they will be facing match point for at least one more game. And I don't know. Do you think that Frost have it in them to pull off this reverse sweep here?
I I don't think so. I think the Whelps have they're too powerful. That being said, Frost did hold Whelps to only 4 shots. The problem is that Whelps hit every single one of those shots. They went 4 for 4, and mistakes were made on the goal line there for Frost. There's been signs of brilliance. There's been bursts of extended stays of offense, um, but really, Frost has not played consistent enough in this series to warrant them. For me, even warranting them to get 2 games back. Although Icarus almost getting a highlight reel redirect right there. I mean, I think at best maybe they take this one. Maybe Whelps take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but I don't think they get more than one. I think, just on the backs of Mr. Marino and Jeff Matt. I mean, really just everybody on this Whelps roster has played so well. Grebsy's just doing the dirty work. Marino's hitting the highlight reel shots. Jeff has been a midfield master, getting this ball to stay on the offensive side of things, and I don't see this playing out any differently here in Game 4.
And without completely discounting the odds of Frost coming back in this series, obviously the odds are stacked against them, but it's still doable. On the other side of things, whoever wins this series, looking like Whelps, will have a very tough matchup ahead of them, as this one actually going off the crossbar. Let me hold that thought.
What
going off the crossbar twice, actually. A little bit of an eager jump there from the offense on the Whelps, not leading to a goal quite yet. They're still in a good position, but the offense will be relieved. And Frost manages to break out, but as I was saying before, you have a very tough matchup ahead of you, whether it's Ignite or Spitfires in the Grand Finals if you win this series. Certainly, it'll do wonders if the Whelps can manage to close out in a sweep here. I mean, you're going to need all the confidence in the world to be able to go up against either of those rosters, and Marino with a top shelf flick manages to break through, and Whelps once again scoring first.
We stand Mr. Marino. This man is just playing out of his mind in this series. And again, just like in the last series I was casting, you know when a player's going to hit a shot, and I knew he was going to get that flick. And in Novice, there is just no way you are defending a flick of that caliber. Maybe in Rival Titan, a bit of a substandard flick, but for what you are playing with here, a great flick. But on the other side, Frost countering quickly off the kickoff. That's what you need after a standout play from the Whelps.
Frost does not want to go home just yet. Icarus coming through, fast read off the backboard, will manage to beat out the 2 defenders in net, keeping themselves alive in this Game 4. It's not a sweep quite yet. They still have some life left in them as Jeff Masters going off the ceiling for this one. Icarus ready for it. Tries to get the dribble started, but shut down once again so quickly as the offense will continue. Not the best touch by Grebsy. This will allow an opportunity, and the shot, although good, not good enough to break through this Whelps defense, which has looked pretty solid when they're not double committing. I mean, they've gone most of the saves that they've needed. As almost an unfortunate play, almost caster's curse that went into existence as I spoke it. But Whelps still avoiding conceding. This one going off the back. Grebsy getting the flick out. Actually, getting the flick a little bit suspect back into his own zone will allow Frost to continue this pressure. Grebsy shutting down with the 50s. I mean, I don't think I've seen Grebsy lose a single 50 in this series so far.
Dude, again, I don't want to discount this Frost team. Granted, I was kind of harsh on them a moment ago. Each game has been absolutely within reach for Frost, but sometimes as a caster merely, you just fall in love with a team. And I'm in love with the Whelps right now. I mean, every single player. I'm loving what I'm seeing, especially from Grebsy. Like you said, the 50s. He's just doing the dirty work everywhere he needs to be done. On defense here, though, as a bit of a miscommunication from Frost, not able to get the shot through, as even a team bump came out from on the Whelps. And oh
Oh,
my goodness, perhaps a fake. It's working, merely. It's working. I don't know what the Frost needs to do. They need to do something unpredictable, perhaps.
you know, when your
Oh,
strategy
oh,
isn't working, just
oh.
cause chaos. As Jeff narrowly getting back, it looked like the double touch was going to be good if he couldn't. Instead, it's Marino on the other side, but Music remaining calm, remaining patient on defense. That's what they need. Music going to have the shot here, easily blocked away by Jeff. Another scary opportunity by the Whelps, and I mean,
Oh,
oh, that is such a tough goal to concede. The bounce, the nerves coming into play. Surely Saint can't make the touch. And, oh, Whelps go up 2-1.
there was, and not only that, there was just no shot for the Whelps. There was the second man was all the way crossing the halfway line, so Frost had plenty of time to just really take their time, but either calms the nerves. Saint just not able to corral that one, dribbling it into his own net. On the offensive side now, getting a great hit. Music off the backboard. The double tap not productive though, as Icarus perhaps had a shot off of that opportunity, but they got to get involved. I need Saint to get a big counter goal, get this momentum back up for Frost, get the confidence high. It might start right here.
And it surely will have an
Oh,
opportunity.
there it
Saint
is!
coming through, and Saint with the redemption arc manages to slot this shot. He's scoring on both sides of the equation, and he will tie up the series for Frost.
I think I chose the wrong profession as a chef. I need to go into palm reading, because call me the crystal ball, baby. Every time I've said something, it has absolutely happened, and you know what? I'm all for it. Frost, perhaps, could come back in this series, but they're going to have to get one more or face the wrath of overtime. Saint on the flick, going for the bump as well, but the problem was his second man was taken out of the equation. Jeff with the pass, Mr. Marino, and the Whelps looking to get one more for the road and shut down with a sweep.
And with 5 seconds on the clock, it's looking dire. Frost in a bad position. The pass across, but Jeff can't get there. Saint actually can keep this one up. Won't be able to make it to the boost in time. They do manage to find themselves in the first extended time, the first overtime of the series. They've brought it back from the clutches of defeat. Can they continue? You know, when you're in a position like Frost is, you're in a position like Saint, you know that the entire stream has just watched you put the ball in your net. You either crumble and you fall, or you come back and Marino. Who else? Who else to finish off the series but Mr. Marino? He'll come through with the shot, and Whelps take it in a sweep.
That's just, I mean, this man is ready for his chip. I'm pretty sure this is the first season of him being in the league. Someone get Mr. Marino, Mr. Mario, his championship, because this man is playing like an absolute contender. An unfortunate touch to end it there for Frost. Music was trying to take a dribble there out of the corner, and it was just too heavy of a touch that bounced to the middle, and Mr. Marino has been slotting these precision shots all damn series. And oh my goodness, again, Whelps was... A lot of these games ended in one goal affairs, but the Whelps just, they put their foot on the gas pedal, and they really never looked back.
And even though they were close games, it did seem like Whelps had good control of this series the whole way through. I mean, their defense definitely suspect at times. I think if they want to contend for that chip, they're going to have to clean up things on that side, avoid the double commits. But the offense, I mean, don't change a thing. Am I right? Like, just put Mr. Marino at second man, get Grebsy to 50 the ball to him, and you will put in just goal after goal. That's exactly what happened here. And I believe we may be getting an interview in the booth, has been the standard for sweeps so far. As we're waiting on that, I mean, congratulations to the Whelps. A hard-fought battle by Frost, but at the end of the day, I mean, the Whelps just came out swinging. They just had more offense, and they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it was just dominance. And really, the only mistakes that came out were the double commits and the triple commits. It's not like there were misinputs. There wasn't really backflips. There wasn't missed balls. There was some fakes or some lifts in the midfield, but that's going to happen at this kind of low C1 diamond level. Um, that's just going to happen. But when it mattered most, they were getting touches, they were getting bumps, they were winning the 50s. And Mr. Marino, I mean, kind of the one novice player that's really stuck out to me the past few seasons has been Senatario. I don't think he's a novice anymore, as I'm not really up to date on the league. But Senatario really impressed me. But Mr. Marino is just a standout player here in Novice League, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the Whelps. I don't even care who makes it. Ignite, Jorbage on the Spitfires. I know Jorbage has got a lot of confidence in his team, but Mr. Marino, I'm calling it right now. Mr. Marino is getting his chip. I don't even know the man, but if I'm gonna have a crystal ball moment, it better be right here, right now, because Mr. Marino is gonna win this thing.
I hope that crystal ball is well polished, because I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Whelps played fantastic here, but I still believe in Ignite supremacy. I think Ignite's winning it. So I'm not gonna say that they don't have a shot. I think if the Whelps play this well, they absolutely do. But I mean, the way Ignite has looked, not dropping a single game so far, I think they're gonna make it to grand finals. I think it'll probably be a close one, if they only drop their first game in grand finals. But I could see that being a contentious series. Either way, I am going to go ahead. I'm not sure. I do see Jeff waiting in the. Okay, and we do have Jeff Masters, none other. You all know him very well. How's it going, Jeff? How you feeling after that clean sweep?
Honestly, man, it's one of the best feelings I've ever had in Nemesis. It's just it feels so good when I mean, especially I have a lot of respect for Frost, so I'm not trying to make this too over exaggerated, but it just feels good when you go up against a team that has been Frost has really been our bane. So like going up against Frost and being able to kind of just sweep is a really good feeling moving forward.
And I mean, they might have been your bane, but it really did seem like you had control from start to finish here. You guys were just playing with so much confidence, and I'm wondering if you guys just started out, or once you kind of got way, scored 7 goals in the first game, were you just feeling like, okay, let's keep this momentum going. This is what we're doing is right. Let's just keep hammering the net.
Yeah, honestly, we know that Frost struggles on their defensive side, and we know that we're also a very aggressive team. Us and Frost are very similar. So we knew that we needed to take possession early on and just try to really hammer home with that. And once we started getting our flow in game one, we could tell that Frost was a little awkward. So we were definitely taking advantage of that. Towards the end, they started changing up the mechanics and started going a little bit demo heavy and trying to get some boost starving there. But in the end, we still stuck with it. But that's what I kind of like. We were talking in practice. I was like, guys, we just got to watch Frost. They are an aggressive team, but if we can out push them, we're probably going to be golden. And I think that's what happened tonight.
It definitely seemed like that was exactly what happened. And following up on that confidence side of things, I noticed. I mean, hard to ignore Mr. Marino's presence. I think you guys all played an important role in this win here. I just have to ask, not discounting anything, but just out of curiosity, is Mr. Marino, is he always this good? Is he always just slotting every single shot, or was this a standout performance?
Honestly, it's funny that you say that because like literally before this game, we were playing some matches and I mean, Marino's can be honest with himself. Marino was whipping some shots. We were all kind of whipping, but I mean, it was not going too well at the beginning. So Marino, honestly, I don't know what happened, but between practice and when we came into the game, Marino just showed up. I mean, really everybody did, but yeah, Marino was hitting the shots that I know he can hit. It's just he finally found his groove in this game, and we were really just all playing really well. So it's nice to see when I know the potential that we have, when everybody starts clicking. And yeah, Marino's gonna pop off when he starts getting the ball control. He's really good with that.
I gotta ask you, Jeff. We got one more novice match coming up later on tonight. Ignite, of course, going off against Spitfires. They're the defending champ there in Jorbage. Is there someone you would rather play coming out of that matchup, or you have a feeling either whoever comes out of it, you guys feel good?
Honestly, we are a little bit, and I'm going to be completely honest, we are a little bit scared of Ignite. They have had a really good run lately. They've played really good Rocket League, and we're a little bit worried because they're kind of the unknown factor. I haven't been able to see. I'm trying to study up more now on how Ignite's playing. So if I had my choice, I would rather Ignite lose because I think we'd feel a little bit more confident going up against not Ignite. But we'll see what happens. I think Ignite will probably win. But it's just it's one of those things. If Ignite win, we're just gonna have to adapt to it, and if they lose, I think we'll be better for it. But
Well,
Yeah,
thank
and
you much for
yeah.
coming on here. Sorry if you had another question to add, Bagels.
No, no, no. I was gonna say some stupid stuff.
Well, please don't let me stop you.
I was just gonna say. I mean, you touched a little bit on it earlier, but we saw the precision shooting from Mr. Reno. You were a midfield master yourself there, Jeff. We saw the 50s, just the dirty work from Grebsy. I mean, whoever comes out of that matchup, who do you think is the key on your team to try and kind of spearhead things for you guys? Because once you guys took the lead here, once you guys scored first, you never looked back, and that's what you guys are gonna have to do, especially if you're gonna go up against Ignite. So who's the key for y'all?
I mean, honestly, dude, it's hard to say. I don't like to try to, be biased or anything, but really, like, everybody about the team has their own dynamic that we excel in. Marino is more the offensive guy. I'm more the guy that plays the 50s. I'm probably like the fastest guy on the field. Grebsy, he's playing the net a lot, and he's also a really good passer for us. So, I mean, it's hard to say who exactly is best because it's really just a team effort, and we really just put our all out on there, and we all play our distinct roles, and we just in the end we make it work. So I can't give you a specific person that I would say is the best. I'm just going to say as a team we have our niche that we each fit in, and we know how to work that as a team.
A
All right. Well,
goaded
you heard it
answer
here.
from a goaded man. As you did hear it here, Bagels, gonna cut you off. Sorry, buddy. My turn to talk.
It's all
Thank
good.
you. Thank you so much for joining us in this interview, Jeff. It was a pleasure to watch you guys play. I mean, you absolutely showed up in one of the most critical games of your season, obviously, making it to the grand finals. Congratulations. I hope to see you guys play as well, if not even better. I know you guys are steadily improving in the grand finals on Saturday. Gotta feel good. So go enjoy that victory. Congratulations once again. And thanks for joining us for this interview as
Well,
well.
thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
Indeed. All right. Well, with that wrapped up, a great interview from the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Masters. We all know and love him. And even though it was a sweep, it was a very entertaining series to watch. I think. Any final thoughts on this one, Bagels?
Yeah, I mean, I liked everything I saw out of them, and I was kind of trying to pry a little bit out of Jeff there, see if he was gonna divulge any information. But he is absolutely right. Everybody on his team plays a specific role, and everybody's doing exactly what they need to. Truly, the ultimate team cohesion that I've seen so far out of Novice. But really, it just comes down to if they can overcome the absolute just offensive prowess of both these two teams that are going to be playing later tonight. Both these teams are going to be playing right after we get off a break here. It's going to be down to Spitfires at Ignite, and no, I don't think I would catch myself saying this, but I think I'm ready for some more Novice League action.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you've watched. I know you like to stick to your upper level Titan League games, but hey, us peasants down in the lower leagues, we've got some good content as well. And we have another novice banger coming up right after this one. We've got Ignite facing off against the Spitfires. A lot of predictions being tossed back and forth. I can even see it in Twitch chat now. A little bit split on who they think will win this game. But surely it will be a good one. You guys won't want to miss it. And we will be right back with that action right after this short break.